Every single generation is guilty of this. They don't make music like they used to. I was wondering, how old was I going to be when people my age started to say they don't make music like they used to? The 2020s has been a very interesting time in music. Or maybe it's just the attention span in America. I don't know. Streaming has definitely made it easy to get a #1 hit. But staying on the charts is a hardship for these celebrities, these artists. They populate at #1 and then they just trickle on down until you just be like, oh shit, where did such and such go? Baby, she fell off the charts 2 weeks ago. Yeah, she only spent 4 weeks on the charts. My goodness, it is a feat these days to even stay on the charts 5 weeks. It's crazy. People is like, here today, gone tomorrow. I guess Project Runway had it right the entire time. One day you're in, and the next day you're out. But hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Justaboiandhiscamera album review listening party, episode 2. Who said R&B was dead? What? Yeah, who said that? We heard it for many years. R&B ain't like it used to be. R&B is dying. R&B doesn't exist. And I am here to say, you is a lie. You's a lie. That's it. R&B is very much alive. It's my favorite genre. And yes, while we are seeing a lot more genre mixing into the R&B elements, R&B is still front and center. I mean, 11:11 from Chris Brown, Money Longs, Revenge, No Worries, Why Lord? We know that R&B is very much thriving. Even some of Usher's album, even though it was a little bit too long, he still has some very beautiful cuts. They were just far and in between. But in today's episode, we are going to go over Kehlani, Khalid, and Flow. These 3 artists each dropped a studio album in 2024, late 2024. We are going to discuss these albums because these albums performed so low. Like, did we just forget these artists even existed? Oh my goodness, I was hurting for some of them. They charted low. Low. They so low. Them first week sales were, microscopic. But that's because they probably fell on deaf ears. Don't get me wrong, 2024 was a year of music. Music was musicking, so you could have easily overlooked a lot of projects because so many came out. It was like, bah. Whew, I even got overloaded at some point. I was like, oh, sensory overload. I don't want to hear another song. Music saves lives. Music gets you through certain times in your life that you just don't know how to formulate the words, and then you put on a song that can captivate what you're trying to say or what you're feeling, and it helps you decompress, it helps you process, it helps you heal, it helps you celebrate. Music is not dead, y'all, and R&B is very much thriving. But don't you worry, that's why Justaboiandhiscamera is here. Not only am I going to give you some albums that are very much thriving R&B music and driving it to the next level, I'm going to tell you what tracks will fit your life and how they'll fit your life and how you can benefit from these tracks. And you ain't never got to suffer through all the tracks like I did. No, I ain't suffer through that. I did all the heavy work. I did all the leg work. And you just get my entertainment. And then you get to add some songs to your playlist and see how you rock with them, how you vibe with them. Because you can find a new theme song that navigates your journey in life. And that's what this is all about. Music, baby. Promoting music and finding a reason to smile, even if you gotta cry to get to that smile. First up on the list is my girl. All her fans have been waiting to hear new music, and she not only gave us an album, she gave us a mixtape. Yes, Kehlani dropped 2 projects in 2024. She dropped her 4th studio album, Crash, and she dropped the sequel to her 2019 mixtape, While We Wait 2. The studio album was released on June 21st, and the mixtape came out August 28th. She didn't leave much room for you to digest the album before she dropped the mixtape. Depending on what chart you're looking at, the mixtape and the album performed drastically different than her previous work on the Billboard 200. But the album and the mixtape does similar on the top R&B hip hop album chart and the top R&B albums chart. The mixtape even performs better on one of the charts. Before these two projects were released in 2024, Kehlani was 4 for 4 for placing her albums in the top 20 of the Billboard 200. Well, Crash would end up debuting at number 25, and While We Wait 2 debuted at 36. This will break her top 20 debut streak on the Billboard 200. But fear not, because over on the top R&B hip hop albums chart, Kehlani will still earn 2 more top 10s and keep her top 10 debuting streak. Because Crash would debut at number 8, and While We Wait 2 would debut at number 5. But over on the top R&B albums chart, the mixtape does not fare well, and it debuts at number 20. It does end her top 10 streak of all projects. Before this, Kehlani placed all previous projects, 5 to be exact, in the top 3 positions on the top R&B albums chart, to include Crash, who peaked and debuted at number 2. When you put them together, she gave 27 new tracks to the world in 2024. Kehlani has always been a rebel. Kehlani likes to experiment. Matter of fact, in an interview, she said she experimented with Crash, and I can tell. But the Grammys enjoyed it because she was a finalist in this year's Grammy ceremony. But according to Vibe magazine, they said that Crash was a catastrophe, but they would go on to rate her mixtape, While We Wait 2, as the number 4 best R&B album of 2024. I guess you can take the positive with the negative. Do I agree with Vibe? What does Justaboiandhiscamera think about Kehlani? And how can you use Kehlani's new music as a theme song or a vibe to get through your life's journey? Well, I'm glad you asked. And if you didn't ask, you should have asked. Talking about experimenting, Kehlani takes a very interesting take on her opening track. The intro is very interesting, I will say. However, I do not think it did any favors for her or the album. Matter of fact, I would argue that it probably would have turned fans off than it would have actually made them excited for the second track. Y'all, you gotta be careful with these album openers these days. Like I said, we are in the streaming age. Attention spans are low, extra low. People will hit next. People will click off your album. You got to come out swinging, y'all. Pop, pop, pop. You got to grab people's attention. That includes what singles you are releasing in 2025. Because some of these singles being released to the radio these days should have just stayed on the album. It's okay to have a filler, or it's okay to be an album cut, but everything ain't supposed to go to the radio. Next to You is up next. The beat is so fire. I was like, okay, Kehlani, you got me back. But Kehlani's vocals come off a little raspy, but it's not really the raspy that's taking me out of the element. It's just, it doesn't really sound like Kehlani. But this is her experimenting, so I'm like, okay, I'm not really feeling the voice. While the beat is dope, I just don't know if it was the right placement for this song. And I say that because it does nothing for new fans, because if they didn't know her voice before, this ain't the song that's going to make them want to hear it more. And for old fans, we're kind of like, whoa, did her voice change? Did she go through some, vocal issues? But that will soon be erased as soon as After Hours comes on. Instant save. That is a radio hit. That is a standout track. And that is the first track y'all should be saving for your journey, because After Hours is that bitch, okay? I ain't gonna lie, that is my ish. Basically, Kehlani is saying, hey, I want to make an intimate moment. I want us to vibe. I want us to do some things, some grown folk things. And so you can beat me after hours. Hey, because everybody know after 2 a.m. the only thing that's open is, ooh, shut your mouth. But yes, after hours is that vibe you can make with your partner. Tell them, hey, you already know what time it is when I get home, especially if they work the night shift. Be like, hey, y'all come and see me after hours. Christina Aguilera was sampled on the next track. What a girl wants, what a girl needs. Hey, I was so excited. But then Kehlani came on the track and that excitement kind of faded very quickly. It's just not a song for me. However, as a woman, there is moments in her lyrics that are empowering. So if you want to go and check that out, you can. But I'm going to mosey on over to the next track, which is the self-titled Crash. Once again, this track's beat is on point, solid, dope. It mixes the genres, but R&B leads and is beautifully produced and mixed. This track also brings Kehlani's rasp voice back from what we heard in track 2. But in this point, I kind of got used to it. And then over the last couple months, I've been kind of used to it because I do like Crash and I do like Next to You. So now, as I had time to simmer into the tracks, the raspiness does not really bother me. But if it does bother you upon first listen, just ease back on into it over time. And you kind of get used to it and you kind of actually appreciate it. I know I do. But Crash is also going to be used with your partner for that intimate setting, because basically she's singing, come on over and just crash and just spend time with your girl. And I feel it, because when you got a physical connection with somebody, that's all you want to do is be up on them. So I get it. It's a very good song for the lovers out there. Now, for all my pussy, puss, puss. I'm just looking for my cat, y'all. Where's that cat? All my kitty cat eaters out there. Track 6-8 is my shit. Love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, she just want to get 8. 10 minus 2, 8. Now, I ain't over here trying to eat nobody kitty cat, no little munch, crunch, crunch, no thanks, okay? Get it out my face, no, ooh. But I can understand, I can resonate with some eating. Stop being nasty, okay? Don't get me canceled. Grow up, nasty. Stop being mannish and womanish. But, hell yeah, go save track 6-8, because that shit eats. The beat is on point. It's something that you can vibe to, dance to. R&B is thriving in this song. But she a little nasty. Oh, she a little nasty. All I'm going to tell you about the next track, Jill Scott Shuts It Down. I forgot this was Kehlani album. So just go ahead and download, save track 7, sucker. Because, baby, you ain't going to be disappointed. That's all I can tell you now. Track 8 through 13, I can definitely tell she was experimenting. The tracks are all over the place. They're not really cohesive. They are solid songs, but some of them just won't stand on their own, and you're just listening to them while the album's playing, but you probably won't save them, and I am not going to expect y'all to go save them. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, out of the back side of the album, my standout tracks are Tears and Vegas. Tears is actually one of my top rated songs from the entire album. The beat, the genre-infused melody, and then the guest vocals from Oh My LA. Yeah. Winner, chicken dinner. Absolutely. Y'all go ahead and save Tears. Oh My LA, you're going to love them vocals. And then Vegas, I like the beat of Vegas. It is a nice little jam. Basically, she's saying in this relationship, some things just need to be between the two of us. So what happens in this relationship, what happens here needs to stay here, like in Vegas. And baby, that is a fact, okay? Because everybody should know your business, and especially social media. Y'all stop putting everything on social media. Keep some things a secret. Move in silence, even though I really hate that quote. Sometimes move in silence, especially when it comes to your relationship. Because if you get everybody to turn on your significant other and then y'all still dating, you look crazy. You look like a fool. So y'all haven't already figured it out. I do not agree with Vibe magazine. I do not. I do not think the album was a catastrophe. While the album is a little bit all over the place, it does have some special moments. It has some gems. It has some theme songs that you can vibe with and put to the story of your life. All right. My standout tracks are definitely tracks that you want to go and check out because they are solid and you ain't got to worry about all the other ones. We're going to leave out the fluff and we're going to give you the meat and potatoes. I do like that she brought different sides of her to the album, and I look forward to this next album when she hones in on them experimental tracks and then tightens her shot group, and I think her 5th studio album is going to be some solid work. Before we get off this album, Justaboiandhiscamera is going to give Kehlani's Crash a rating of 7.2 or 72 out of 100. Since Kehlani dropped 27 tracks, I'm going to give you the top 5 tracks. So at the end of this review, you'll have 10 new Kehlani tracks. Coming in at number 5 is the self-titled track, Crash. At number 4, Tears. 3, Sucker. Jill Scott just does something to me, baby. She is the GOAT. At number 2, the runner-up for best song on the album is 8, which leads. Yes, the lead single is the best song on the album. After Hours is the number 1 song on Crash. And that brings us over to Kehlani's second project of 2024. The mixtape While We Wait 2 is a solid R&B project through and through from beginning to end. She gives you more of that traditional R&B, but there are moments where she is infusing different genres and doing what Kehlani does. The opening track on the mixtape is 10 times better than that on the studio album. The beat is perfection. It is R&B to its core. However, it's just not that memorable. But it does open up better and makes you want to listen to the next track. You are anticipating, you are hyped for the second track. And the second track does not disappoint at all. It is the lead single When He's Not There, featuring Lucky Day. This is an R&B gem, and right out the gate, this is a track you need to save. Oh yes, standout track, radio hit. This song is everything you need. Yeah, it's about her cheating. Well, life is life. While Justaboiandhiscamera does not promote or advocate for cheating, shit happens. And if you're going to do it, this is a great song to be a theme song for your cheating ass lifestyle. I mean, don't get caught. That sneaky link lifestyle, that sneaky link gonna catch up to you, right? I mean, karma's a bitch. Bringing you some more adult time, which I love. Track 3, Close Off, is giving you that moment to get that foreplay jumping off. You need some music in the background. But Kehlani is telling you to go ahead and take your clothes off because that's where it's going to be leading to. Particularly on this track, I do enjoy the melody and the beat, the production and the engineering, I should say, more so than I actually do Kehlani's delivery. But the song is a solid R&B track. Track 4, S-I-N-G-L-E, single, samples Brandy's Sitting on Top of the World, Top of the World. So if you like that 90s nostalgia, hey, this is the track for you as it samples Brandy. And that takes us over to track 5, where we hear the phenomenal vocals from Little Mo. Little Mo's voice is so underrated today. R&B at its best. Vince Staples is also on the track, and he does his thing. No Better is a standout track. Instant save, download. This is a R&B gem that should be inside of your playlist, inside of your library. All right, these 3 artists came out swinging. Kehlani delivered a KO with No Better. Just like on Crash, the rest of this album delivers a solid array of R&B songs. She's all over the place again with this mixtapes, but she's covering a spectrum of topics that you could jump on, resonate with, fall in love with. These songs are not standalone, standout tracks, but they offer solid R&B forward music. If you're just trying to vibe and groove, these melodies are just so beautiful. The standout track that I want to highlight on the back end of the album is Slow Dance. Slow Dance features Dixon, and man, when these two get to singing and blending the vocals, it is just R&B heaven. This is another one of them tracks for y'all lovers when y'all want to get that intimate moment kicked off. This is a great song to choose for that moment. The mixtape did not forget about Crash. Kehlani brings 2 tracks from Crash into the mixtape with remixes. And what I love about these 2 remixes is, one, there's a remix to 8. You already know I ranked 8 as the number 2 track on Crash. So the fact that there's a remix got me excited. And when I hit play, it did not disappoint. And guess who's on it? Flow, the trio from the UK, who we will be discussing up next. So what? Talking about a connection, interconnecting of the music to my videos. Look at that. The remix does what the remix is supposed to do. Elevate the song. Give it something fresh, something new that makes you want to go back and listen to it some more. And it delivers perfection. And if y'all ain't heard it, go ahead and check it out. Instant download, save. The remix is just as good, if not better, than the original track, which is what it's supposed to be. There's also a remix to After Hours. Now, while that remix does not really bring any diverse element that elevates the song, what I will say is that the Brazilian artist Lamilla is on the track, and when she delivers her verse, bitch, yes! Oh my goodness, she nails, she kills it. So I say download the song just to hear the Brazilian artist Lamilla, because yes, I love her verse, I love her style, I love her vocals. So you might want to also check her out if you ain't heard of Lamilla. Overall, the mixtape delivers a solid array of R&B tracks. You got Form of You, you got Ballin'. Like I said, she gives you different topics among various things, but these are not going to be standalone tracks. None of these are like radio forward. I don't really see any of these tracks making it popular with the mainstream, but for my R&B lovers, you got some gems that you can add to your playlist. So unlike Vibe Magazine, who enjoyed While We Wait 2 more than Crash, and actually ranked the While We Wait 2 mixtape as the number 4 R&B album of 2024 and named Crash a catastrophe, I actually enjoyed Crash a little bit more than I did While We Wait 2. And therefore, While We Wait 2 will earn a solid 7 from your boy EJ of Justaboiandhiscamera. Solid work, Kehlani. Solid. So between these 2 projects, Crash and While We Wait 2, 27 tracks did hit the scene. And you ain't even got to listen to all 27. I already did it for you. So like I gave you the top 5 of Crash, here are my top 5 tracks of While We Wait 2. But I do want to highlight 2 tracks that fall right outside of the top 5, and that's Ballin' and Form of You. I brought it up a little bit earlier. Them are 2 solid R&B tracks I think you will enjoy. They do fall right outside of my top 5. So at number 5, kicking off her top 5 is Slow Dance. At number 4, Single, Single, with the sample of Brandy, Sitting on Top of the World. At number 3 is the 8 remix with Flow. I'm telling you, go and check it out. At number 2, bringing Little Mo and Vince Staples to the main stage in 2024/25, Kehlani's Know Better. And that means the number 1 track on the mixtape While We Wait 2 is the lead single that she did with Lucky Daye, When He's Not There. Go find the song for you out of these 12 tracks, because Kehlani did not disappoint with these 2 projects. I fully endorse her growth over these years as an artist. And baby, she is definitely bisexual. In Crash, she was a full lesbian. But then over here on While We Wait 2, she is a heterosexual who dibs and dabs in the lesbian lifestyle. Baby, I ain't mad at it. Do you, boo, do you. And this is going to take us to the third album of the episode and the second artist, and that's Flo. The English girl group trio from the UK drops their debut studio album, Access All Areas, AAA. It was released on 15 November 2024, and it follows after their success of dropping 2 EPs in 21 and 23. The trio earned 9,000 album equivalent units and debuted at 163 on the Billboard 200. It was a low performance, but I understand normally when acts come from across the seas, you have to have a strong radio presence or a strong social media to actually populate very well in the United States. It went on to have a top 10 debut over in the UK on the UK albums chart at number 3. And it will become a chart leader over on the UK R&B albums chart as it debuted at number 1. I enjoyed this album very much. Oh my goodness. R&B definitely is forward in this project. They do fuse some other elements, but baby, these harmonies that these girls do, oh, Access All Areas, A. It opens with Cynthia Evo. I could listen to this interlude forever. And no, it does nothing for the album at all, but my God, the narration from Cynthia, then the harmonies from these girls, standing ovation to the opening track, even though, you know, it's not even a real song. And that's what I mean. It made me ready. I wanted to know what I was getting into, and I couldn't wait for the second track to come up. And the second track is the self-titled track of the album, Access All Areas, AAA. And it is a solid R&B delivery. Beautiful song. It's a solid opener, but it doesn't deliver that punch and that attention grabber to make it a standout track. But baby, these harmonies, you know you're about to get something special in this album. And then we get to track 3. Flo has Glorilla on track 3. Yeah! Glorilla be popping up everywhere. She is making a name. She had a dominant 2024 herself. Go ahead, Glorilla. In my bag. While the song is not revolutionary with the lyrics, it is a fun song that every woman and gay should have in their playlist. It is that song that reminds you that you are a baddie. They better be glad that you gave them the time of day, alright? This song is great for your self-esteem boost, and it's also great to navigate you back to that path of excellence and self-care when you're going through a breakup or a rough patch that may have you forgetting who the fuck you are. You put this track on and you be like, in my bag, hey. And then when Glow delivers her verse, the meaning of R&B hip hop at its finest. And you can thank Mariah Carey for that. If you know, you know. The next track, Walk Like This, keeps the self-esteem train going. Your self-worth is upgrading. You know your value. How you doing a little two-step in the kitchen while you're cooking dinner? And it slides right into track 5. And baby, track 5 is that, bow. Save it now. Instant classic. How does it feel? The song kicks off with the lyrics. Tell me, how does it feel to have the baddest? The last girl you had was practice. Now that you have it, I have to ask, how does it feel? Ooh, hallelujah. If you was having any issues about knowing who the fuck you are and getting back on track after some heartbreak or some pain or some down moments in life, go ahead and put this track on. Now, put it on right now. Pause me and go get you some inspiration right now. Your self-worth, your value is important. And you want this confident boosting song in your library. So when it comes on, it can remind you of who you are. The right song for the right moment would have you changing your entire attitude, having you change your entire outlook, and put you in a mood, in a stance, in a version of yourself that you thought you couldn't get to that fast, that quick. And baby, that's what the power of music is. Get you out of them funky stages and take you to what is meant for you so you can unlock your potential to be the best you and have your greatest life. Track 7, Check, is another standout track, and I say a must-have for the library. Save and download now. We all picked the wrong person. We have all picked, hey, maybe we were the wrong person. I mean, shit. Accountability, people. It happens, all right? My bad, I might have been toxic, and sometimes that motherfucker's a little toxic too. Shit goes down in the DM. But track 7, Check, gives you a checklist that you need to have on you at all times. So when you meet somebody and you start vibing, you can be like, hold on. Do you meet these? If they don't meet them, just send it back home to their mama. Track 9 had me in my feels because listening to the song, I was like, damn, why do we give people so much power? And even when you be like, I am independent, I am self-made, I know my worth. But we get into these situations and these relationships in life, and it's like we forget our power because we're giving it away. And the song "Bending My Rules" just had me thinking, like, why am I bending my rules? I set standards for a reason. I do things particularly for a reason, and I'm not being authentic to myself. And when you start losing your self identity in a relationship, cut it off. That you are dating a narcissist, and that motherfucker will make you feel like it is you. It's always you, but you need to put yourself first. Save it and download it, but use it as a motivator to say, no, I'm not going to bend my rules. If you are compromising what I stand for, then we have to reevaluate this, or it has to be let go. Remember that. Let that shit go if it ain't doing you any good, because everybody deserves peace in their life. And when your peace is being fucked with and taken away from you, stop, check, reevaluate. Let's get it. Because you deserve happiness, and don't let no mofo ever try to take it from you. All right? All right. Let's get on with this album. The song is a sexy R&B traditional vibe and standing ovation for the harmonies. I'm telling y'all, these girls are doing their thing. Track 12 is also a home run. Flo knocks it out of the park. Instant save, download, add it to your library, because it's also going to help with your journey if you ever go through situations that just have you off track. And it's called I Would Hate to Be My Ex. Hell yeah. While I was over here like moping around trying to figure out what I could do better to be better, to make that mofo like me better. Boo, bye, fuck all that, okay? Yes, you're supposed to compromise. Yeah, you're supposed to meet in the middle, supposed to be 50-50. Once this shit becomes one-sided and you doing a lot more than what the other would even think about doing, stop it. Stop. Because you is a baddie. Money, check. Looks, check. Personality, check. Bitch, you a vibe. Hey, I'm a vibe. So don't forget, that motherfucker is going to be upset because you are going to flourish and do big things. And that mofo is just going to be the ex. And half time they don't even upgrade. They leave a situation for a worse situation. But baby, we don't care. Bye, bitch. These tracks shoulda, woulda, coulda, and Get It Till I'm Gone. When you think you're supposed to be chasing a motherfucker around, or you're not good enough for somebody, the universe will check your ass and tell you, wake the hell up. Flow came into my life at the moment I needed them the most. These tracks are the icing on the cake. To remind myself that I am a cream of the crop, it will remind you that any mofo that you dealt with and let go is going to have a hard time replacing the goddamn table that you were and that you is. All of these last 4 songs that I brought up will help you nail that goddamn nail in the coffin and end that relationship, end that pain, end that sorrow, and end that mindset that something's wrong with you. Because no. Now sometimes maybe go check in the mirror and, accountability and self-awareness, it's a thing. So don't just neglect it. But for the most part, especially in my case, okay, well, some people might say I'm a little toxic, but shh, keep that between me and you. Solid R&B album from the ladies. Your boy EJ and Justaboiandhiscamera production is giving the album a 7.7 or a 77 out of 100. Flow delivers 19 tracks on the album. The 20th track is an interlude. There is a deluxe version of this album. It's the unlocked version, which offers about 5 remixes of one of the original songs. While we won't actually break down the remixes, what I will do is I will add the songs on the unlocked version to the ranking of the original album. Let's kick it off. At number 20, The Trustworthy Interlude. 19, I'm Just a Girl. 18, Nocturnal. 17, Soft. 16, the intro to the album. 15, AAA. 14, Shoulda, Woulda, Coulda. 13, Bending All My Rules. 12, Walk Like This. 11, Caught Up. 10, Nocturnal Remix, the unlocked version. 9, Bending My Rules. Remix, the unlocked version. 8, Get It Till I'm Gone. 7, In My Bag. 6, Check. 5, Soft, the unlocked version. Number 4, Hate to Be My Ex. Number 3, How Does It Feel? Number 2, On and On. And the number 1 song on the album is that Hate to Be My Ex, the unlocked version. Let your boy know, what do you think about the album Flow? Access all areas. If I added the remixes of the unlocked version, I would definitely push this album to an 8.2, 82 out of 100. R&B ain't dead, y'all. I gave it an 8.2, and the original version is a 7.7. Music is doing its thing, which brings us to our last artist of the episode, who I think delivered one of the best R&B albums of 2024, but the critics didn't agree. Mind blown. The Khalid album, Sincere. He dropped a deluxe version of the album on December 5th, adding 6 new tracks to the album. Sincere was originally released on August 2nd. This is the first studio album since Khalid's 2019's Free Spirit. After his mixtape in 2021, Khalid decided that he needed to take a break from music and go on a self-searching journey to figure out what type of artist he wanted to be and what type of music he wanted to put out. I don't know what journey he went on, what love he found and lost, but this album is everything we didn't know we needed and wanted. And Khalid delivers a knockout R&B album, but it fell on deaf ears. The Grammys didn't nominate it. The critics downplayed it, and the fans seem to not even be listening to it. Insane. So I'm so happy I get to highlight his album and tell y'all why Khalid did his thing and why this album is such a gem and should be inside of your library. It should be getting some spins from my R&B lovers. The penmanship on this album is immaculate. Storytelling at its finest. Penmanship matters, and I love a penmanship album over a bop, radio forward, radio formatted album any day. Give me the deep cuts. I love it. The Sincere album earned 17,000 album equivalent units, and it would debut at number 43 on the Billboard 200, number 11 on the top R&B hip hop albums chart, and it took the runner-up position on the top R&B albums chart. While it did debut at number 2 on the R&B charts, I do feel that the album was slept on because it only spent 2 weeks total on the Billboard top R&B albums chart. The major complaint from the critics is that it's one note, a minimal approach from Khalid. And they're not wrong, it is a one note type album. He doesn't offer too much variation in the songs. But what I credit him for, and why I'm pushing this album forward as a solid, one of the best R&B albums of 2024, is because Khalid took us on a journey. From the moment Adore You comes on the original Sincere version, to the time that the album ends, Khalid takes us from the moments of a relationship that is hitting rocky waters. And he's navigating the good, the bad, the ugly, the positive, the negatives. But unfortunately, it leads to a shipwreck. The album is absolutely beautiful. And for anybody who's going through a breakup or any type of relationship problems, these songs are definitely going to add value to your life's journey as theme songs to get you over certain emotions and feelings and help you put things into perspective, but also helps you know that somebody else is going through the same thing or went through the same thing and you ain't by yourself. And if they can overcome it, you can too. And that's the power of music. That's the power and beauty of why we love so many different types, styles, and artists, because each one can give you a vibe and a song that can get you through to the other side. So let's get into the Sincere album. The original album only featured one artist, but the new 6 tracks offered on the deluxe version sees Normani, Araya Star, and Chloe coming onto the album. Khalid opts out of big vocals, big high notes, and just keeps it chill, mellow. I don't mind the low tone singing at all. I think it actually keeps me more engaged because it's not overly done. And sometimes I don't want an overly produced album. So my standout tracks among the new 6 ones are MIA, Make It Up To You, and Passionate. Passionate sounds like it was supposed to be on the original album, but was left off. But it's a solid, beautiful song about trying to regain that passion after it's been lost, especially if you want to try to stay in that relationship. Chloe shines on MIA. This upbeat R&B flavor tempo song is amazing. It is great. It has Khalid singing about knowing this girl is probably going to leave and not stay, but he can't find the way of letting her go. So he keeps allowing her to stream him along, even though he feels like the love is missing in action. We all can resonate with that. We all been a fool at some point. Or you made somebody the fool because you drugged them along. But hey, shit happens. Accountability. I love Chloe's vocals, and you know, it ain't often that I say that. I mean, which brings up Skin. Khalid sings about having intimate moments, but it just seems like it is a situationship. And all he's getting is some, TLC, but no substance behind it. While he's falling for her, it doesn't seem like the feelings are mutual. And we have all been there, guilty as charged, giving someone more than what they're giving you, putting them higher on a pedestal than what they should ever be on. And we got to stop. No. If that mofo ain't doing what go back to flow. Check that checklist. Don't lower yourself for anybody. If that mofo can't step it up, you walk it out. So let's get into this original album. Oh, it kicks off with Adore You, the second single from the album. Adore You is a perfect way to kick off this album, but I don't think it should have actually been a lead single. The melody and his singing is more on the reserved side, so it's not an attention grabber, and so many people probably would have lost interest. But what it does is it sets the foundation of this journey. And Khalid is singing about wanting to start fresh, wanting to try and work it out, but leaving the past in the past. And man, I was like, damn, I've said these things before, and being so sincere with it and so vulnerable to be like, mistakes were made. I got it. I own up to it. We did them. Nobody was perfect on either side. So let's just let it go. But no, Adore You kicks off this journey. And I'm going to tell y'all now, this is truly a no-skip album. And it's no skip because each song branches off of the other and gives you an additional layer or a unfolding of the scenarios that is leading in this relationship while it's in rocky waters. Will they make it? Will they not? Who's going to be hurt? Oh, who's the guilty party? You know, we like drama. Who's guilty? But Khalid, he does a solid job of navigating the love, pain, and heartbreak of a relationship. Track 4 is my first standout track, and I think should have been the lead single. Let me tell you, this is how the song starts. I walked out the front door. You said you didn't want me anymore. You meant that. You said it with your chest. Skip over to the chorus. You're my biggest regret, but it's all good. Y'all, I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. This is my toxic trait. I know I say some shit when I'm mad, and how I say it, I already know it's piercing right into the goddamn soul, heart, and I am a destructive force with my tongue lashing, which ain't good. I ain't bragging about it. It's not good. It's a toxic trait. Gotta work on it. So I resonate with this shit so well. We cannot control every situation, and sometimes we just have to accept what the outcome is, even if we don't agree with it, and even if it hurts, it's all good. Track 4 is an instant save, and I think one of the highlights to his album. And then, if I didn't think he could pull out my little heartstrings even more, Broken. Instant save for Broken. Let me tell you these lyrics in Broken. I can't go through this. I don't want to hurt again. I don't have another heart to mend. I lost your love once again. I thought you was down. Okay. Just had to take a moment to resonate them lyrics. I personally believe It's All Good, Broken, and Please Don't Fall in Love with Me. If them 3 songs were released in order, the fans would have been mind blown. Pow! And Please Don't Fall in Love with Me is the next track on the album to highlight, and it's beautiful. And we all been there. Whether you get in a relationship or you are still in your healing process, you just like, please don't fall in love with me. I can't, not right now. And yes, stay in that mindset until you fully are ready, because once you're ready, blessings will pour in. But if you bring that baggage with you, or you cause somebody else pain because you're in pain, you're only going to find misery. So definitely take the time for yourself. And this song right here is a great song to have in your catalog when you just know that it's not your moment, but you know your moment is coming. What I really do like about Please Don't Fall in Love with Me is it samples Alicia Keys' Unthinkable. I'm Ready. And R&B is not dead, y'all. It's flourishing. You just gotta keep an open mind. And don't close off new music. Track 8 through 13 are moments in his story, moments in the penmanship that is taking the listener through the mindset of accepting loss and trying to navigate the moving on. Now, Ground and Heat Stroke were the 3rd and 4th single from Khalid, and I just don't think that was a smart choice. But these final 3 songs, 2 of them should have definitely been the 3rd and 4th single. This is how I would have did it if I was Khalid and his team. It's All Good, Broken, Please Don't Fall in Love with Me, Sincere, and Decline would have been the 5 singles that I released to the world. And it would have summed up this album to the fans. And the rest of the tracks would have just placed the story together and gave some R&B gems. But yes, these last 3 tracks are perfection. The 3rd track being Owe It To You. When the album ended, I was still sitting there replaying my own relationships in my head. And I was like, man, I did wrong. I did right. I was taken advantage of. I didn't show enough love. You know, all these different elements and small things and big things. And I could own up to them. You know, I did not realize, or I was not expecting his album to hit so close to home and kind of bring out so many different aspects of my past relationships that actually helped me heal and mend a lot of broken things in myself. And I just want to truly highlight Decline. One of my top songs on the album. This verse, let me tell you this verse. And I hope things were the same, but I'll take the blame and I'll go. I thought we were fine until you hit decline when I called. I was instantly taken back to a relationship of mine when the regular communication became the silent treatment. Anytime I would say something, attitude, argument started, I was ignored. My calls weren't getting picked up. My text messages weren't being responded to. Hell, I didn't even get checked on throughout the day with a damn text message. And so as I was processing that on my own, I knew the relationship was over. I was just trying to figure out what was the point of still stringing me along. Why are you just not leaving? Why are you just not going? Like, why are you still putting me through this time warp of a loophole that you clearly have moved on for and show 0 fucks towards me? And hearing Decline just, it was everything I needed. I was like, that is what I was, that was what I was processing and feeling. I just didn't have the words. Thank you, Khalid. You gave me the words. So unlike that relationship where everything I did and said fell on deaf ears, don't let this album fall on deaf ears. No, go and stream Khalid Sincere, the original version. Justaboiandhiscamera. Your boy EJ is giving Khalid Sincere an 8.4. Or an 84 out of 100. Khalid's Sincere album is only the 2nd album out of the 9 that we have reviewed in season 2 so far to get an 8 or better on an album. Go back, give it a shot, give it a listen, and let me know what do you think about Khalid's Sincere album. But till then, here is the ranking of his tracks. Adding the 6 new tracks to the original, kicking it off in the number 22 position, Faded. 21, Altitude. 20, Ground. In the 19th position, Heat Stroke. 18, Personal. 17, Dose. 16, Who's There to Pick Me Up. 15, Breathe. 14, Skin. 13, Tainted. 12, Long Way Home. 11, Broken. Your top 10 from Khalid. At number 10, Everything We See. 9, Adore You. 8, Make It Up to You. 7, Please Don't Fall in Love with Me. 6, Owe It to You. And your top 5, should all be in your catalogs and your playlists in your libraries. I'm telling you, your top 5 at number 5, passionate. At number 4, MIA. At number 3, it's all good. Number 2, decline, which means your number 1 song from Khalid is the self-titled track, Sincere. Thank you all for watching episode 2. Who said R&B is dead? Because, baby, Khalid just proved it ain't dead. Flo murdered the scene, and Kehlani is experimenting and giving you some sexy music with some infused genres. So, it ain't dead. And other artists are still doing their thing too. Grammy-nominated artist Lucky Daye has an experimental futuristic style album that shows where R&B music can be going or will go, potentially. Layla Hathaway gave you Vanta Black. Oh, y'all, R&B ain't dead at all. Just go find your vibe, find your song, and find me. Like, subscribe, comment. Come on, let's have a conversation with your boy. Until next time, peace, love, and happiness.